to cover in this webinar. So we will cover the definition of mental health, common issues among young people, signs and symptoms, what are the risk factors, protective factors, resilience, myths and stigma, and some practical advice, how you can help even if you're not mental health professional.
Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, let me introduce you a bit. Today, on behalf of hashtag Innovative India Movement, All India Council of Human Rights, Liberties and Social Justice, National Council for News and Broadcasting, Safeguarding Children Seva Samiti Uttar Pradesh, Kaushaki Foundation Uttar Pradesh, International Human Rights Commission, Voices on the Mount Africa Ghana, I welcome our guest speaker today to talk on the topic COVID-19, mental health among teenagers and youth. We welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Anna Cubra. She is originally from Croatia, Masters in Social Pedagogy, Behavior Disorder, Social Emotional Counselor, Dhaka, Bangladesh, International School. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the warm introduction. So I've been working abroad and living abroad for the last 11 years, actually. I've been in international field for the last 6 years, and I've been working as a counselor. There are some traits of mental health issues that arise across all 3 continents where I lived. Among all the kids, sometimes it's more present, sometimes it's less. And now, due to COVID, I cannot even explain how much it escalated, actually, how serious it really is. Okay, so we can start, and then people can just ask questions if they're interested. Okay.
Sure.
So
We have a question. Our first question we have here is, what are psychological effects of COVID-19 on children?
there are many, many. We saw antisocial behavior. We saw withdrawal from the social situations, withdrawal from the people, lack of motivation, depression, oversleeping or not sleeping. So sleep pattern is distorted, overeating or not eating enough. And in some cases, not all, and it's very rare, I have to mention that, PTSD. So it can occur if a person, it can reoccur, let me put it that way. So if a person had previously was diagnosed with PTSD, which is not only reserved for the war veterans, of course it can happen for various reasons. Many of these cases have shown during the COVID time, actually, within few months of lockdown.
Okay. So, what do you think? Children are suffering nowadays. They are not able to go outside. Not used to play as they were originally playing outside in the sunlight. So, what effect they are coming in their real life? What they are facing? What problems family are facing to bring the children? Can you explain that?
Yes. So one of the biggest problem is, for example, if we are talking about a young child who is used on spending, let's say, 1/3 of their time in the school, this can really, really put them down. This can really set them back, because if you take one part that they would spend running around, spending time with friends, chatting, being social, and suddenly that's overnight, without an explanation, it disappeared. Now, parents might face difficulty explaining that in the first place to the child, because it's not an easy task. When it comes to teenagers, on the other hand, when you're a teenager, you don't want to spend the time with your family. All you want to do is to spend time with your friends. Your friends are everything in the world to you. So imagine all of those friends are gone for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, in this case, 1 year. It's horrible. And after some time, they get used on being like, not being social. So what we realized from this whole COVID situation is that social skills can be learned, but if you are not improving them every day, they will disappear.
Right.
So it's just about practice, actually. Many of our kids who were very social are not social anymore. So what they need to do, they need to practice a lot. They need to push themselves out of their comfort zone to become social again, which is quite interesting, actually, because we thought it's like riding a bike, you never forget. Actually, you do.
True.
You do.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, we have a next question here. Is there any difference on how COVID-19 affects children and as compared to the adults?
Well, I think children, they are missing vocabulary, how to explain what they're feeling, especially if we are talking about young kids. So whatever they're feeling, you cannot put it in words. They're missing the vocabulary. Adults, even though they have all the tools to deal with it, they might not deal with it in a certain way. So I think that COVID-19 might hit adults more than actually children. Children might suffer, but adults might feel the consequences for a longer time because we
Right,
remember, right, how horrible it was. And kids, they can adjust very quickly. They're like little sponges. They just soak in.
right, exactly. Okay, so what do you think, Anna, that what is social isolation impact on child upbringing?
Social isolation.
Right.
Okay. So being socially isolated, again, it can cause variety of problems. We are talking about depression, anxiety, conduct disorders. It might lead to self-harm. We are talking about eating disorders. And if your child has already had one of these issues, they might even get higher now when it's COVID time. So I think being socially isolated, it can be detrimental in your child's development. So it's very important that even though you might not be able to, I don't know, go to school or go to the club or whatever, it's important that you somehow try to maintain social connections within your family at least, or your closest friends.
Right, right. Okay. So, do you think that at this time that children are at lower risk as compared to the adults for the COVID-19, or they are at the same risk factor? That's why schools are not opening right now.
Well, I cannot say for sure like how it goes. I think it would be the best if we refer to WHO or CDC for those information about COVID. I think what I know so far is that children are the carriers,
Hmm.
but I know that they cannot be vaccinated until they're 16. So,
Right.
and depends on the country. Depends on the country. Some countries were open, they never closed. Some countries were half open, half closed. Some countries were closed completely. It all depends. It all depends very much.
Okay. 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 We have our next question here. Is social touch awareness gathering important for the emotional development?
Sorry again.
Is social awareness gathering important for the emotional development of a child?
Oh yes, of course, of course, of course. Like you cannot, in development of a child, it's not only parents. It's so many different factors that can contribute in developing a child's brain, engaging them in the play. So there are many different things. You cannot isolate one factor and say, okay, because of this, my kids turn out like this. No, it's million different things. The same goes for adults. Like if someone is happy, they will not say, well, I'm happy for this thing. Actually, many things led to that feeling of happiness that we have.
Right, exactly. Okay. What effect it had on youth life? Like COVID have on youth life? Youth are suffering. What impact it had on youth? Like they are missing their jobs or what? In what field?
Well, on youth, I would say it's definitely reflected in their grades, in their behavior that they're exhibiting in their house, in the way that they are maybe treating their siblings, they're treating their spouses, loss of a job. I mean, there are many different things that have been impacted. Like, for example, take a young couple that were just recently married. So they are locked in the house. They are nervous. They are anxious. They are in constant fear, which lowers your immune system as well because they don't know what's going to happen. Maybe some of them lost their jobs, so there is a lot. There is a loss of self-confidence as well. So many different things actually.
Right, right. So are families getting engaged in this COVID period as you are seeing that we are getting our studies online right now through Zoom classes or other apps? So are family more engaged right now, or they are not interested, or they are, the lacking of interest is there, or the family engagement is seen there? What you have to say on that?
Well, I would say that families now are more interested in their child's well-being slash mental health. They are less interested in academic part, which is something very positive actually. Usually they would be like, okay, how much did you get in math? How much did you get in English? And now it's more like, okay,
Right.
how do you actually feel? So
We are
how does it
focusing
make
more
you
on the
feel?
soft skills. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because we saw it firsthand how difficult it is. So parents are more engaged into how are their kids doing? Are they fitting in? Are they being excluded? Are they being bullied? How are you doing? Is this to the so there are many different things that are positive actually in this whole situation.
Okay. And what we can do to keep our mental health not affected, whether it's been youth or teenager or any other person, at any age, what steps we can take, what measures we can take to be on a safer side?
To be on a safer side, first of all, you need to write down. This is what I usually do, and do it also with the kids. Write down what makes you happy. What makes you happy? What brings you joy and happiness? What brings you peace? So write those things down and try to do them every day. The same way, I really dislike how people separate physical health from mental health. Everyone has mental health the same way we have physical health. So the same way you would take care of your physical health of your body, you would eat healthy, you would exercise, you would go in a walk. The same thing you have to do for your mind. The same thing. There is no difference. There is no difference. So, for example, write down what makes you what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what brings you peace, and try to do it every day. It's a matter of practice. Peace will not come overnight. First time I tried meditating, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't breathe. I was like overwhelmed with my emotions, but it takes practice. The
Right.
same way I first started jogging, my muscles were in pain and I was like, no, I don't feel like going tomorrow. You have to. It's a matter of practice. It's just self-practice.
Right, right, exactly. So as we are not going school, the children are not going school nowadays. So are they missing that? What like as a teacher, you have been working as an international school, as a counselor, as a teacher. So what do you feel like children are missing that space, or are they enjoying the phase of not going to school? So what is your say on that?
They are definitely not enjoying. All of our kids are like, ah, we miss, we can't wait to go back to school. We can't wait to see our friends. They are missing everything. They're missing the building itself. They're missing the field that we use where they will play. They're missing gatherings, lunch together. Everything is impacted greatly. And it's not something that you can replace, even though you can meet your friends maybe once a week just to maintain that social interactions. You cannot replace 8 hours of every day that they would usually
Right,
spend.
true.
Impossible. And yeah, we do
Okay.
try our best and we have good online programs and everything. But is it the same? Not even close. Not even close. So,
Okay. And we have one more question here. Like, what activities the children can do at home to, get rid of social distancing and social isolation? What they can do to be, more of in a form of a family thing, gathering thing. So, what steps they can take? What activities they can actually do?
okay, so I think it would be the best if we divide them in categories of young children and teenagers, possibly. So for young kids, as try to have family meetings with the kid. Try to watch a movie every once in a while. There is also something that Netflix came up with. It's called Netflix Party. Try to
Oh,
ask
wow.
other parents to ask their kids to join and to watch the same movie, and then they can chat and comment about the movie in the same time.
Is
Do
it? Wow.
Yes, do puzzles, color, be artistic, do whatever it takes for your child to feel engaged. But it's a little bit more difficult for a smaller kid because it's more difficult to explain, right? So try to
Right.
do some activity. You don't have to go in a club. Try to jog in the park. Have a picnic. You don't have to be surrounded with other people, if possible, if you're not in full lockdown. And when it comes to teenagers, they need their space. They do not like their space to be invaded by their parents mostly. That doesn't mean you shouldn't check on them. That doesn't mean that you should not check how are they doing. Try to also have family nights, but with different activities, like activities that are appropriate for their age. Try to engage them in more sports because hormones are running wild. So trust me, there is a lot of happening in their body and their brain. So try to involve them into a lot of different physical activities. And in healthy body comes also healthy spirit. So this is a rule as well.
That's great. And okay, the last one I would like to ask you is from my side, on my behalf, that what advice you want to give to the the people around who are suffering the same thing, COVID-19, lockdown, no social gathering, lot of not getting into more of a social thing. So what actually they can do to keep them mentally healthy and keep them happy? So what advice do you want to give to them?
I want to say, first of all, everyone is doing a good job already. So I want people to be aware of that. If you are here and you're listening, you're already doing great things. It means that you want to take care of your mental health. So that's
Right.
plus. Second thing is try to do one thing that makes you happy every day. Every single day. Do that thing. Whatever it is, as long as it's benefiting you, do it. It doesn't matter what it is. What else? Try to stay physically healthy. Physically healthy. Try to eat healthier. Like this is the time of change. Try to learn something new. Like since the COVID started, if someone have told me that I will finish 40 courses, I would probably laugh.
Exactly. Even I have done that, Anna. You will not believe that I have done so many courses, and they have helped me as a person to develop as a more good person day by day. So definitely, I agree with that.
Exactly. I was that bored. I was that bored. I'm thinking of a master's degree because I'm that bored because I don't know what to do with my free time. So I need to fulfill it somehow, right? And maybe changing my career or getting a second master's will make me happy. Okay, so I have to move towards my goal, right? So
Right.
I actually wrote a little a vision board of my goals, what I want to
Wow.
achieve. Important when you set your goals that they're very small because when they're far-fetched, we don't tend to do them. So if it's something like simple, okay. So for example, I wanted to finish first level of German language, and then I chunked it down. How can I do that? How can I
Right.
actually? I
Exactly.
I told myself, okay, from all of these things, how can I do it? I'm just gonna do one thing a day. If I do more, awesome. If not, no guilt, right?
Right.
So, and the
Okay.
same goes for my physical health. I wanna take a lot of supplements because I'm a vegetarian. I wanna take a lot of supplements. I wanna eat healthy. I wanna make food from scratch. I don't wanna buy anything that's already pre-prepared, blah blah blah. So how can I do that? And then okay, so I can drink smoothies. I can bake my own bread. I can do this, and this. If I do one of those things, awesome. Just one, and that's it. And you're already moving towards your goal. And this
Exactly. Exactly.
set unrealistic, big, massive goals for themselves. I want to be a millionaire in a year.
Right.
Not happen, honey. Not gonna happen. Maybe it will, and good for you. But try to be
Mm-hmm.
real. Doesn't happen. You can still be happy. You
Right.
don't have to be, unhappy about it. So it's important that you keep that in mind. And I think that would be my message to everyone.
Very nicely explained, Anna, that we have to plan and we have to, subdivide the plan accordingly and don't rush around like so many things to do. Like one thing should be the target and keeping the other things aside. So that's better, like very nicely explained. And one last question, like how can the students, the youth, the teenagers can, join you, connect with you and get your more advice if you're willing to mentoring them, like how can they connect with you, where can be you find, and what are your social links?
Okay, so my students, they have my email that was provided by the IT of the school, and they can actually reach me anytime. I'm always available, even if it's out of working hours. It's not something that